Zion Canyon, a place of exquisite visual beauty and rugged environment. Zion National Park is located in southern Utah in the middle of an immense geologic feature called the Grand Staircase. The Grand Staircase refers to a sequence of sedimentary rock layers that stretch south from Bryce Canyon through Zion National Park, and all the way down to the Grand Canyon. In the 1870s, geologist Clarence Dutton first conceptualized this region as a huge stairway ascending out of the bottom of the Grand Canyon northward, with the cliff edge of each layer forming giant steps. Dutton divided this layer cake of Earth history into 5 steps, starting from the youngest uppermost rocks in the north, the Pink Cliffs, Gray Cliffs, White Cliffs, Vermilion Cliffs, and Chocolate Cliffs. The major sedimentary rock units exposed in the Grand Canyon range in age from 2 billion years to 600 million years old and were deposited in warm, shallow seas and near-shore environments. The nearly 40 identified rock layers of Grand Canyon form one of the most studied geologic columns in the world. The oldest exposed formation in Zion National Park is the youngest exposed formation in the Grand Canyon, the approximately 240 million year old Kaibab limestone. The Bryce Canyon area to the northeast continues where the Zion area leaves off by presenting Cenozoic age rocks that are 100 million years younger. In fact, the youngest formation seen in the Zion area is the oldest exposed formation in Bryce Canyon, the Dakota Sandstone. Bryce Canyon's formation are the youngest known units in the Grand Staircase. Younger rock units, if they ever existed, have been removed by erosion. These layers have undergone 5,000 to 10,000 feet of uplift starting about 66 million years ago with the Laramide orogeny, which has increased the ability of the Colorado River to cut its channel to make individual plateaus out of the Colorado Plateaus region. The major canyons of the region did not start to form until about 5 to 6 million years ago when the Gulf of California opened up and thus lowered the river's base level, its lowest point. Human habitation of the area started about 8,000 years ago during the Archaic period, with small family groups of Native Americans, the semi-nomadic basket maker Anasazi, and the Virgin Anasazi culture between 300 and 500 CE. The Parowan Fremont lived in the area as well, around 500 CE, and both groups moved away by 1300 and were replaced by several southern Paiute subtribes. Mormons came into the area in 1858 and settled there in the early 1860s. In 1909, U.S. President William Howard Taft named the area a national monument to protect the canyon under the name of Mukuntuweap National Monument. In 1918, the name was changed to Zion, playing to a prevalent bias of the time, through which many believed that Spanish and Indian names would deter visitors who, if they could not pronounce the name of a place, might not bother to visit it. The United States Congress established the Zion National Monument as a national park on November 19th, 1919. Common daytime animals include mule deer, rock squirrels, pinyon jays, whiptail, collared lizards, desert cottontails, jackrabbits, kangaroo rats, cougars, coyotes, gray foxes, ringtail cats are the top predators. Golden eagles, red-tailed hawks, peregrine falcons, white-throated swifts can be seen. California condors were introduced in 2014. Angel's Landing, known earlier as the Temple of Aeolus, is a 1,500-foot tall rock formation in the park. A trail cut into solid rock in 1926 leads to the top of Angel's Landing and provides a spectacular view of Zion Canyon. The trail roughly follows the path of the Virgin River for some time, slowly gaining elevation in sandy terrain. As the trail gets steeper and leaves behind the river, it becomes paved. After a series of steep switchbacks, the trail goes through the area between Angel's Landing and the Zion Canyon that is a gradual ascent. Walter's Wiggles, a series of 21 steep switchbacks, are the last hurdle before Scout Lookout. Scout Lookout is generally the turnaround point for those who are unwilling to make the final summit push to the top of Angel's Landing. The last half mile of the trail is strenuous and littered with sharp drop-offs and narrow paths. Chains to grip are provided for portions of the last half mile to the top at about 5,800 feet. Okay, switching over to Google Earth, we are going to fly into Zion Canyon and have a closer look. So here we are looking up the canyon, looking about roughly northeast, and we can move up the canyon. Okay. So much for Google Earth. The Narrows is the narrowest section of Zion Canyon. This gorge, with walls 1,000 feet tall, and the river sometimes just 20 to 30 feet wide, is one of the most popular areas in Zion National Park. The Narrows is one of the most unusual hikes on the Colorado Plateau. Hiking is done largely in the river, as for a third of the route the river runs canyon wall to canyon wall. The walls are vertical and sheer and often red in color. Water levels change from season to season. Most hikers will wade at least waist deep, and many will swim a few short sections. The Narrows are susceptible to flash flooding because much of the surrounding area is bare rock that does not absorb water. During storms, runoff is funneled rapidly into the Narrows. During a flash flood, the water level rises almost instantly, within seconds or minutes. Flash floods are common in Zion, and hikers have been stranded, injured, and even drowned by venturing into narrow, flood-prone canyons. There is so much to see and do at Zion National Park. It is truly a place of unique natural beauty.